What is good, family? We are back. Welcome. This is so dope. We are back, bruv. How you
It's been
feeling,
a
Mike?
couple. It's been a couple weeks, but we back better than ever.
Better than ever is what they say.
I'm good.
Okay. So you cooling?
Lovely, man. Just waiting it out with the rest of the world, baby. Just trying to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what is new on your end of like just your quarantine? Is what y'all still on lockdown, right?
Man, as of right now, they told us we on lockdown till August, but we'll see. We'll see. You know,
Yeah.
um, but it's the same with me. Just working, working and learning,
Mm-hmm.
working and learning, trying to learn something new every day, staying at it, continuously building on what I'm learning.
Yeah.
And that's inside the industry and just on basic stuff. Like I've been on Duolingo for the last 38 days straight now, learning Spanish. Put it a half hour a day.
That's
So
dope.
just taking advantage of the time.
Have you what do you feel like is like the most I can say like beneficial thing that you have gained while in quarantine? Like what was your biggest learning moment? I guess you can say.
Well, just there's certain things that I've learned over my course. Like of course, I got a went to school. I got an MBA and all that, but and you know, one of the things I've learned over this course is like I've been putting a lot more time into digital marketing. And like when I was in school, we didn't learn too much. We just learned the basic on marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But now I've been putting in the time and putting in hours daily, daily, daily on the digital marketing, and I understand the whole digital landscape a lot more than I did before. Of course, it's something that we all need to know, and it was I'm a little bit older than most folks, so not most folks, but a lot of people that we're talking to basically. And so when I first started this whole music business, I was everything for me was in the streets. Like we was hand to hand, face to face with everybody. So as over the last 10 years though, digital marketing has definitely, well, social media marketing, for instance, is definitely taken a big course in a lot of our industry lives. And before it was always me just reaching out to somebody else that knew it and giving them the information on what I needed done. But I really had a chance to sit down over these past 3 months since what March, March, April. Well, damn, it is 3 months because it's the end of May.
Hmm.
Yeah, over these last 3 months, and really dig deep into that and learn more on that. So it's no longer like Spanish to me when somebody's talking. Like I can speak the lingo. I can actually do a lot of the things myself now. Like I can put together you a social media strategy now. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like I can do that, and I can do that confidently. You know what I'm saying? So from the things the time that I've put in over these last 3 months, I put in a lot of man hours. I tell you that.
That's good. That's good. So we got like I don't know, bro. Like I'm actually like excited for just these next few weeks, man. Just seeing the different things that we got coming up, just within the inner circle that I know. Like I got, I'm dropping a record, but then I know that within the next couple months, there's an artist that we had on here a couple times. Versi Jean, she's dropping an EP. Shout out to Versi Jean. But then
Congrats,
you
congrats.
you also got some of your artists are dropping some stuff. Talk to us just a little bit about that stuff, man, because some
Well,
stuff that we were going to be hyping up for the next couple weeks.
well, we got June 5th is a big date. Three of the artists that I work with, and I say I work with. What I mean, I'm proud to work with these guys. What I mean, I'm like it's almost like a blessing. And that's not almost is. It is a blessing to work with these three creative people. Like they're musical geniuses in their way. They all have. I have three of them dropping singles on June 5th.
Mm.
Um, One of them, Pick Patek, he's dropping his new single California on June 5th, and it's a pretty dope song. It's like got like a '70s disco vibe mixed with hip hop. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a dance
That
record.
sounds crazy.
It's crazy.
And Pick Protect's a crazy artist as it is.
Mm-hmm. Then my man Johnny Good, you know, he has a song dropping called Feel It. And it's, I told you about Johnny before. Johnny's a bass player. He plays bass for Lady Gaga. So whenever she's on the road, he's on the road with her.
Yeah.
He's been fortunate enough to do things like the Super Bowl, and you know, he's been blessed on that part, but he's also a dope ass artist. So
Right.
he has a song called Feel It, and it's all out of his genre, bass hop. He calls it bass hop because he does, like, it'll be a hip hop record, but it always got some bass in it, and it's always him playing. There's
Right.
always some bass or some guitar in it that just funks the records out. So that record's gonna be crazy, man. It's like, I can't wait to. Hopefully, we'll get both of them guys on here next week. You know, next Wednesday, so the world can hear exactly what I'm talking about. And
Right.
then I also got my main man, Nesia Beatz.
Nesia Beatz.
Me and Nesia go way back. Nesia's one of the best producers that I know when it comes to production, but he's also a hell of an artist. So he created this song, like, and he's gonna be on in a couple minutes, so he can explain it more. But he has a record coming out. Actually, I'll let him do all the explaining. I'll just let you know he has a record coming out on the 5th also, called "I Miss My Friends," which is definitely a dope record for about everything that's going on right now, and some other deep meanings in between. So he'll be on in about 2 minutes. So you know,
to talk a little bit before he hops on, talk a little bit about that though. You got 3 artists dropping 3 different records on the same day. That's got to be taxing for you as a manager.
yeah, it is, because like nobody expected it to be like. Luckily though, there's help from every camp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not like these guys are all hard workers, and they gonna make sure that they do everything that they got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's just me. I just get on top and just add some guidance. You know what I'm saying? But really, this is all their work. So you got to give it all to them, man. Like, I'm just here to, you know, I'm like the GPS sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just the guy to talk to and try to make sure you're going in the right direction. But other than that, these dudes do all the work, man. These dudes are geniuses of their own. Like Nesia, for instance, not only did he sing the song, write the song, and produce the song, he did it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I'll let him explain that a little bit more in a couple minutes. You know what I mean? When he comes on, but you know, so then when they just call me and tell me what they want to do, we just go over everything that need to be done, and then they take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's what we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's always good to have somebody that's going to try to outwork you. You know what I'm saying? And these guys do that.
No, that's definitely good, man. I think it's definitely beneficial. So what would you say your role is before? Like I said, I know Nesia about to hop on in a sec. What is your role in each release?
Well, it's just about coordinating it, making sure everything that's in play. We work together on building a social media plan. We work together on the distribution, on who we're going to use as a distributor. Yeah. We work on the date. We work on making sure that the artwork is straight. We work on a whole bunch of things, just the small things, and then the artists take it the rest of the way. You know what I mean? Right. So they do what they do. They just, like I said, it was just collaborative effort on just making sure everything's coordinated and moving in the right direction, and then they take it from there.
Yeah, that's super dope, man. So yeah, I feel like that's like the thing that people don't see. Like, they see that, they see the artist, they see the release, but like they don't know what the role of the manager is. And I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, the manager's just there, like he just handles the stuff on the back end. It's like, no, because like he actually like has a huge role in all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we do, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, like it's always great that when you work with folks that's going to work harder than you at their craft. You know what I mean? So it's like it makes the job easier a lot of times. Like I said, I'm working with guys that they put the work in, they go hard for it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's just collaborative and just coordinating here and there, and then they do their thing. You know what I mean? And I see we got Nesia on now. What's good, bro?
What's good, y'all?
What's going on, superstar?
Hey, what's good with you, bro?
Man, it's been too long,
So,
brother. You
it's
know,
been a minute. Right.
got
We
For
got
you,
that
sure.
got you.
quarantine beard.
That's what I was
We
about
got
to
the quarantine
say.
beard, Joe.
Hey, my
You know
listen,
what?
listen.
The
Mine
haircut's
just
been
look a
too
little
long.
dark. All right, that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I
Mine
see
look
you
a little
though.
dark. I see bright spots in y'all beard. I don't know if those are like blonde
Woo.
highlights or
Yeah, that's what it is.
Nah, that's stress and wisdom put together.
stress and wisdom. Come on,
Right.
somebody.
No, that's
Man,
Right.
how you feeling, Nesia?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I mean, you know, besides what's going on in the world, as we've been watching last 2 weeks, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited about the creativity that's been happening in the last 2 to 3 months right
Yeah.
now.
Man,
Yeah.
well,
So
so before we really jump in, man, because I got a lot to ask you,
okay.
lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, and I feel like it's just gonna vibe. We're just gonna talk, and this is gonna flow.
Okay.
But before we really dive into that, I want you to really explain, like, just tell people who you are, and just a little bit of your backstory, some of your accolades, and how just talk a little bit about some of that stuff.
Okay. Well, my name is Nesia Beatz. If you haven't heard of me, uh, you always hear that tag in the beginning of my track. So you'll hear that Nesia Beatz. And pretty much, I come from Pittsburgh, PA. Started out, I got my start with generally with like Wiz Khalifa at the time. At the time, Pittsburgh was trying to make a noise in the city, and we had started out locally trying to put music on the radio. At the time, we had we had really no name at that time. We had
Mhm.
artists that were coming out, but I think like the first artist that really started us off in Pittsburgh was probably like Joe Beast from the Hill. He
Mhm.
he was with the Aftermath scene, Dr. Dre,
Yep.
and he was kind of like the first one out of our generation to kind of take it on a national level and say, hey, Pittsburgh got some music.
Mhm.
Um, uh, so at that time, we were trying to get local music on the radio and local music in our clubs. And I had started out at the old Whammo, which is one of the first Black radio stations in the United States. So I started out there,
That's
started to,
that's
put
that's some
tracks
knowledge.
out.
That's some
Yeah,
knowledge for you. All right.
yeah, man. So it started like that. I was putting out BCDs and stuff like that, and I started to produce local groups around the city, and that's how it started. And at the time, an artist named Bone Crusher, who did a hit record called Never Scared, was touring, and that was my first time that he took an interest in my beats on the outside level,
Mm,
and I ended up making the transition to making noise in Atlanta.
yeah.
That's how I got started.
That's dope. And
Yeah.
where you at now? I know you're from the best city in the country, but where you at now?
I'm in LA.
Okay. Okay. You out
I'm
in
in
the
LA.
sunny LA. That's why I hear birds chirping right now. Because y'all out in LA. That's fine. It's okay. I'm in cold and muggy. It looks nice today, but I'm in Cleveland. We're not gonna talk about Cleveland because Cleveland is Cleveland.
Cleveland is Cleveland, man. We like cousins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right, right.
right, right. So we definitely could relate.
So let's talk a little bit about you as an artist, man. How'd you get started as an artist? You talked a little bit about your production. Let's talk about
Right.
artistry.
Okay, now artistry wise, when I was in the city too, I would produce songs like a beat maker, but when artists used to come up to me, I would have sort of like the hook or certain ideas done. So as I would make a track, they would hear me singing or they would hear me doing a melody or I would sing the record and they would be like, yo, we're looking for somebody to sing on the track. And I would get done with it and they were like, well, Ninja, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you do the song? I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So that's what started to happen as I would produce for different artists and groups and camps that I would start doing verses, I would start doing hooks, I would start doing, just all types of stuff. And the next thing you know, I would be performing along with these certain artists, doing my parts. And that's how I kind of built that popularity. Okay, Nesia could do hooks. He could sing. He got a certain sound or a vibe like a Pharrell Williams or how Timberland does things. Or
Oh, you put yourself. He got a Pharrell sound. Okay.
right. So that's how that got started. And then when I got to Atlanta, I had already was making like beats for producers and working on a like club rap trap stuff.
Yep.
And I had a big interest in like pop music. So I was listening to like David Guetta. I was listening to a lot of EDM stuff.
David Guetta's dope.
David Guetta's classic.
Yeah.
Listen to Calvin Harris. I was listening to a lot of different of those cross blends, but it would feel funny because I'm like, dang, I'm a black dude making this like pop sounding music. Like, so in Atlanta, by the time I moved to Atlanta, I had all this pop music kind of ready, but I had no big outlet compared to what was going on at the scene at the time.
Right.
You know, everybody was on Snap and Turn Up, and you know, everybody was getting lit. And here's me making this like fun pop music. Right. So I started to I took a chance on myself. I started to get in the studio, and the first song that I made was Right Now, which was at the time everybody was doing like the slash EDM sound. I think Chris Brown was starting to get into it, Usher, artists like that. And when I got finished with it, people started to like it. I just had nowhere to shop it to. So I was actually taking songs, writing them, singing them, doing them. And the Right Now record got to a girl who was friends with a guy named Ryan Good. And Ryan Good at the time was he was Usher's stylist. So he would style Usher, and she told me right now he's working with this kid. His name is Justin Bieber. This little kid from Canada. They're doing like these little tours and riding around, and they're actually living in Atlanta right now. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, she was like, well, Ryan Good heard your song and he wants to meet you. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we go to his apartment, and it's so funny because Baby I think it just came out, and he had just got back off a road trip because the song was getting bigger and bigger so quick. It was on its way to number one.
Right.
So we get in there, and he likes the record, and we end up cutting a song together, and that's how we did Right Now. But then on the other end, a little bit before that, I was working with an artist by the name of Young Jock. Okay. So Young Jock and I had just did a mixtape called The Ground Flu, and Young Jock, I left that song for him on a Beatz CD. He took it and gave it to Usher. And Usher loved the record. He was like, man, I love this song. I want to put it on one of his albums. So Usher recorded the record, but some business-wise, the ball kind of had dropped, and it didn't make the cut.
Okay.
So we were dumbfounded because we thought that was going to be the big major placement pop record. Usher, let's go. We were ready to go on that. And then I still had the version with me and Ryan Good, so I decided to go on that. And that's how that was like the major line as far as what I was doing as far as in the streets with Wiz Khalifa and producing all these other artists in Atlanta, and then kind of doing my own kind of music as an artist.
Yeah,
that was the line in the sand.
Talk a little bit about like that shopping process from an artist, like just from an artist standpoint, shopping a record that you wrote, but then also from a producer standpoint, shopping a record that you produce. Because a lot of the people that watch us are like producers, but we also have artists, we also have songwriters, and a lot of people want to know that aspect of it. So to talk to us a little bit about just that process and short version, because it could go very long.
It can go very long, but just like short version wise, there's two ways you can go with that, especially with these days, because it's sort of an indie major game in a sense. It used to be, if you go back 10 years ago, it used to be it was the beginning of the end of working your way up to the majors. Now there's a line where you play where you can hold your own as an indie and lay it, and now majors are coming to you.
Right.
So I would say in two ways, if you're trying to shop an album, produced album, it's good to go to movers and shakers like A&Rs, attorneys, label execs, even reputable DJs, tell you the truth. All those guys, or if you have a good relationship with bigger name producers, even though, you know, business kind of changes sometimes, depending on what type of producer you mess with. But if you get with somebody that's attached to a name, say if I go to a producer and he produces for Selena Gomez or she produces for Ariana Grande or something like that, then that's a way of getting your produced record into that type of scene.
Into that, yeah.
Into that type of scene. That's how a lot of records get played. It's all about relationships. Now on the artist end, the one great thing we do have is the vehicle of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing is, I mean, if you're making your own songs, I mean, create your own, you know, of course, your own profiles on things like Spotify, you know, YouTube, which are major. You can go through distributors like DistroKid, TuneCore. You can also, you know, of course, Instagram. And we see now how TikTok is really have worked their way up in there with a lot of hit records.
Right.
So the TikTok push is a nice indie push. You can really, I've seen about, since this quarantine, at least 5 major hits. I mean, a guy made me and Mello were talking earlier, a guy made a song called Bored in a House, right? Right? Think about that.
Bored in a House.
Bored in a House.
Now it's all over the radio.
Now it's all over the radio. So that shows you right now how the indie game is looking. I mean, if it's a record that works with the people and it's starting to cause some buzz and it's related, it can really work for you on an indie level, even on a pop music scale.
Yeah.
Which, if you go back 10 years ago, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it the way you did it now. I think 10 years ago, you know, I think we probably just had like Twitter at that time.
Right. Yeah.
And it started out with probably, like I say, the first indie records I seen were between like Orange and Kush and Orange Juice. That pushed. And then years later, Chance the Rapper with his push, you know, and Mac Miller, things like that. So,
right. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Right. So that's the great space that you have as an indie artist at this point.
That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope. So let's shift gears a little bit, man. You got a record. It's called, if I'm not mistaken, coming out on June 5th. Am I correct?
Man, you got it right.
Okay. It's called I Miss My Friends, man. So I listened to it a little bit. We're gonna play a snippet of it a little bit. But listening to that record and then listening to you talk about, you know, your type of music you produced and some of the people that you produced for, what would you put yourself, like what lane would you put your music in? Your music, not your production, but your personal music.
My personal music is, I would say, is more like I would call it like worldwide, like pop urban music, because you got the best of both sounds. So it's like the one thing about my music is it doesn't have a feel to where if you're from the streets, you're like, oh man, that's kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you're not from the streets, you're like, oh, okay, that's something that I could touch on. It's not scary either. So the one thing about the music that I do like to make is that I do touch on all sides. I'll touch on urban sides. I'll touch on like this my new single that's coming out is more of a side that relates to everybody personally and what's going on.
Right.
So that would be the side of me. It's like pop urban. It's a mixture of stuff that you could ride on if you driving up the beach, or something that you could put in the club, or something that you could put on in your car if you're taking a ride. So I try to transcend on various stages and styles. So it
Yeah.
incorporates a lot, but it's just a dope sound, and I really want to take it out on the outside. I haven't had a chance to really do that. So
Yeah.
that's sort of the music that I'm creating, so people can hear it and say, "Hey, man, Nesia stuff is crazy, man. You could play that anywhere."
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about your creative process in this, man, because I know that you were also the producer on it. And I know, of
Right.
course you wrote it and you're artist, but did you record it too as well? Or did you go somewhere too?
Yeah, a lot of my records I do, but I usually produce.
Okay.
So I usually come up with maybe the concept or the track or the written melodies, and I just go in there and do it. But you will be hearing newer songs come up with other producers, collaborations, features on newer projects as well. The process pretty much is I'll usually just come up with an idea. It could be a melody in my head, it could be a beat, and with particular songs, I'll go into a studio with an engineer, and he'll usually record me. So the one song that I just did right now, engineering by the name of FaZe, who he works with Migos. He records with them.
FaZe. FaZe.
Yeah, his
Talking
name
about
is FaZe.
You're not talking about FaZe Jackson, are you?
He's from Texas.
No, this FaZe is I think it's from Cleveland.
From Cleveland, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's dope though. He's a dope engineer out here, but he's the one that recorded this particular single.
Okay.
And then I work with an amazing engineer. His name is Malcolm in the Mix, and he's been mixed to people, everybody from Maya to Wiz to Nipsey. He's worked with 1500 or Nothing. This dude. He's working with an international artist called Bara, who is he's from over in Turkey, not Georgia. I'm sorry, over in Georgia, and he's the one who mixed this record. So I do enjoy the team that make all that that make everything come out. Yeah. So yeah.
Talk a little bit about just the background of this song before we play this snippet. Just give it a little background story. Give us a little bit of that. What purpose did you have in writing this record?
Okay, so the single is called "I Miss My Friends." Now, of course, we've been going through this whole pandemic of COVID-19, and life has changed. So at the time, before I came up with this song, what's so crazy is that my grandmother had passed away back home. And they had just shut the flights down from LAX to anywhere else. So I was going through that in a personal sense. And RIP grandma, I know she's doing well. And then just watching everybody's mood change. There were songs out about like Board in the House, and then, there was like the Tootsie Slide, Drake was coming out. So I pay attention to what's going on in the music. But Bill Weathers, the guy who actually made Lean On Me, passed away. So at one time I was watching the news and they kept playing the Lean On Me record. And I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what? There's no record like that for today. Like, what if somebody made a Lean On Me that related to today?
Right.
And I was just like, I just got to get the melody. And that's how it came about. I was like, I want to do a sort of a new version of a Lean On Me, but like celebration,
That boy said, "Lean on me." Well, let's actually check this. Let's check this snippet out.
Before you go any further, man, like literally, me and this dude live 15 minutes away, and I ain't seen him in 3 months.
Facts.
That's that's just how real it is out here.
Right.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. So it goes to everybody. I don't care if you're black, white, whatever, rich, poor. At the end of the day, everybody misses their lifestyle, but they miss their friends. They just miss simple times.
That's crazy.
And that's what the record it transcends on that. Like, someday we'll be able to have the day we had before all this started. We can get together and go watch a game, or we can hit the beach. Right. We can chill with our loved ones without no worries. So it just got that celebration feel like a Bob Marley record, you know.
So,
Yeah.
well, let's play a little bit of this, man. I Miss My
Okay.
Friends by Nesia Beatz.
Nesia Beatz.
And it turns up. Yeah.
Everybody needs a body, someone to lean on. Yeah. That one who's always in your corner when you're down, I'll never let you fall. Yeah. Staring at my ceiling, thinking about a joke you told the other night. Yeah. It had me laughing to myself while I was walking just to ease my mind. Yeah. And I miss my friends, I miss my friends, I miss my friends, I miss my friends. Down to the end, I miss my friends, I miss my friends, I miss my friends. No matter near or you fall, right or was wrong, you can call my name, say it in the song. I miss my friends, I miss my friends, I miss my friends, I miss my friends. Grandma taught me so many lessons and words to live by. Yeah. She said be thankful if you have a friend to count on in your lifetime. Yeah. As soon as we link up together, it's gonna be a roller coaster ride. Yeah, yeah. Catch a vibe underneath the moon, chill at the beach, watching the sunrise. Yeah, yeah. And I miss my friends, I miss my friends,
That's a
I miss
record,
my
man.
friends.
Man.
That's a
Appreciate
record.
it. Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna download it. I might drop that 99 cents, or how much is it? 129, 99 cents? Which one is it?
Man, it might be 120. Nah. It's probably, no, it'll probably
It's
be
inflation
99
out here. It's inflation out here. So.
Yeah, I thought about the LA bills out here. I'm like, yeah, 129. No. But no, it'll be like 99 cents. But no, I appreciate that, bro. I really do.
Man.
I really do.
It's a, like you said, like you give that fun vibes. Like that's a fun record. You know what I'm saying? But it's
yeah.
Let me say something quick though. Like this is a dude that see, because this and like he's a humble guy, so he ain't even telling you the whole story about himself, man. Like this is a dude that he just made a record like that, you know what I mean? But this is a dude that got records with Waka Flocka. You know what I'm saying? Like got club bangers with Waka. He got like
that's what I was about to go into. Like he
executive produced The Grind Flu by Jock, like 4 straight hood records in that bang in the club. He got records with Currency, Wiz Khalifa. He got with some of the West Coast cats out here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a dude that's wide with it, and he comes with a song like that. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's versatility at its finest, man.
Yes, sir.
Like you know that you're an artist, you know that you can create when you are able to transcend genres. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I that's what you have done. Like you have transcended beyond just being a type beat producer, or just being a hood producer, or just being this type or that type, or a pop artist or a hood artist. Like you are a versatile and a creative. That's what we talk about all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the true essence of creative, man.
And it's like that, and that's what this project, because there's a project coming behind this. That's what it's going to display. It's going to display just music that's going to rock the world on every type of level, like for real. And the one thing is that I'm still be producing for artists that are coming up as well in the game. So that's the one thing I love about, you know, being able to create, is that there's no space, you know, there's no like, well, I just do one thing and then I'm gonna work with pop artists, I'm gonna work with alternative artists, but I'm gonna work with the trap, I'm gonna work with the streets, the artists, the hip hop artists, soul music, everybody. You know, that's the thing. So I just want to transition this part of the artistry side out there so people can see the full picture. You know.
So a lot of our people are younger and just starting out, or they just don't know the way, man, what information, what advice would you give to a young producer, and then what advice would you give to a young artist? This is actually super dope because you're 2 in 1. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
talk to us a little bit about what, really tell us what advice you would give to a young producer and then a young artist, man.
The one thing, if you're a young producer artist coming up, and the one thing I always say about this, because I've done this sometimes where I've had ideas and I kind of held back on my creativity. Make sure to throw everything at the wall. Honestly, throw everything at the wall, because you honestly don't know what's going to stick.
That's good.
And we study the business, and the business wants you to be somewhat, this way, or they want you to be like the next so and so. I get that as business, but the one thing is that if you look at every artist or every type of person that you are, that's in the Hall of Fame or that you remember, they always change the rules. They really did. They always did something that was next level. So that's the one thing I encourage artists to do. Be creative as possible. If you feel like you have an idea about a song, don't hold back because it's not the trend. It's not the thing to do. Like, let the world come to you. Sometimes the world got to catch up to you, as opposed to you trying to catch up to the world.
That's some real
So,
stuff.
yep. The next thing is, on a level, try to create the best version of your sound too. Study the people before you. That's the key. Listen to different artists that are from your past. If if you do trap music, listen to the first dudes that made trap.
Right.
So that way you can incorporate what you're going to do in the next. And I feel like sometimes in rap too, like rap music, I feel like they're not learning enough about the history. They're knowing it, but they're not learning enough about that history, so they can say, wow, I didn't know this artist did all that and that. Not that, okay, they're just old and played out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so study your artists, study the people that you admire. You'll learn a lot, and it carries into your music as well. That's what that is for me. I studied a lot of artists, and a song like I Miss My Friends is studied by, for example, like I said, Bob Marley or Bill Withers, So that's where that song came from as far as my teachings, but then you create your own.
Yeah.
So
man, before we get you out of here, man, because I know this is super dope. A couple things, man. I definitely before when you drop the album, if possible, we definitely want to extend the invite, man, for you to come back on and possibly do like a listener party. So just let us know if you're interested, man. That would definitely be dope. Definitely be super dope idea. But so my question is, this is a good one, all right? So I hope you're ready. It's coming at you strong.
All right.
If you could have an artist featured on your record, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh man, you know what I'm gonna have to go with? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Artist?
All time. Yep.
It's gonna have to be MJ, man. It's gonna have to be Michael Jackson, man. It's gonna have to be.
Why MJ, man?
Hey, first of all, I got pictures, man. I got old Polaroid pictures that my mom used to take with me under the Michael Jackson poster. I mean, I'm 3 years old, 2 years old. I got on the Beatz jacket. I got on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, I'm laced up like.
Did you have the Golden Glove?
I had the glove, man. I had it all, man. I'm sitting there like a little midget. Like, it had to, dead or alive. It had to be MJ. It had to be MJ.
Okay.
Because I mean, he just did so much for music as far as what the standard is now. Like when you look at videos and you look at Breezy, you look at Chris Brown, you look at you look at Usher, you look at Justin Bieber, you look at Britney Spears, you look at all these legendary artists. And like I just watched the Ariana Grande Lady Gaga video that just came out. It looked like Michael Jackson.
Right. Yeah.
It looked like the whole format looked like Michael Jackson. They're all dancing in the rain and got on the colors, and it looked like Thriller, like
Yeah.
in a different, like it's not Thriller, but it looked like the same type of like the standard
same
performance.
story. Yeah.
Right. So it would have to be Mike. Now, anybody today, producer wise, that I would like to work with today, it have to be Dr. Dre. Had to be a Dr. Dre. Had to be a Dre or Timberland. Timberland would be next on my list.
Okay.
So
then
any of those two, I'd love to work with.
So that's on a production. So let's flip it a little bit.
Okay.
Who would you want to get on a record, dead or alive? Would that be MJ too? So like one of your beats.
Yeah, dead would be probably be MJ. Alive, it would probably have to be, if it was just an artist to get on one of my tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
You got him stumped.
Hey.
No, I'm trying
it wouldn't
to
be the zone if I ain't did it.
I'm trying to pick one or the other. I'm trying to pick.
You drop something there.
It'd probably be like either. I mean, of course, if you had female artist wise, it'd probably have to be like a Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like to hear B on one of your tracks. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion got to be tripping right now with her song number 1.
Yeah.
With Beyonce on the track.
Right.
And then artist wise, rap artist wise, probably have to be like alive. Got to be Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Still,
I'll take go straight to the Carter household.
Just straight to the Carter. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Either
they
Bay or Jay. You know
because they make life change. I mean, come on, they still make life change. Jay 50 and he still making life change.
Still do it. Still doing numbers.
Still doing numbers. You know what I mean? Like, so that would be amazing. That would be amazing. And you can't. I mean, this is something that you can't deny. If that dude's calling you, you're picking up the phone.
Heck yeah, I definitely would.
But there's a not to leave out any other art. There's a ton of artists, you know, that I think about, you know. But yeah,
those would be it.
Those would be it.
So, man, before we go out, man, let everybody know where they can check you out, man, where they can find you, man. Drop some more knowledge about how we can grab that record. I Miss My Friends coming June 5th. Is there a pre-order, all that fun stuff, man? Just drop your gems.
Yeah, so I Miss My Friends, new single will be out on all platforms June 5th. And also you can follow me at Nesia World. That's my Instagram, at Nesia World. And just shoot me a DM if you're artist and you're looking for production. Definitely shoot me a DM. My email's also located as well. If you're producers and I'm looking for production as well to work with on my project, definitely do the same. So at Nesia World, you can also Google Nesia Beatz for more of my information and history. And again, I Miss My Friends will be out June the 5th. That'll be Friday on all major platforms.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, Nesia Beatz, man, this is super dope. This was a super dope interview. Thank you, Mellow Mac, for, having Nesia on, and it's always a pleasure to talk to Mellow because Mellow is Mellow,
Mellow is Mellow.
That's he's Mellow. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
Man, you got anything you want to say to the people, Mike, before we go?
No, man,
it's just say much, but
no, it's just like I said, it's gonna be a beautiful week next week, man. Make sure y'all all check Nesia out, man. Make sure you look him up. Check out his music, man. Like the guy been doing this for years, man. And like a lot of you producers and young artists, man, it's like he's a guy that you can look up to, man. And actually, you know what I'm saying? Like he's done a lot of things that you want to do. And that's not trying to hype him up. I'm just giving you some game because that's what this is all about. It's all about sharing information. Like this dude still gets checks from the mid 2000s. You know what I'm saying? From work he did in the mid 2000s. Right. So like that's the type of career that you want to have. You know what I'm saying? Like as a producer, as an artist, regardless. So definitely be on the lookout for everything he got going on. Y'all can reach me at my IG. Now my website, I told y'all last time I was on there, it's about 95% done. It's about 95% done. So you can keep checking back at mchanceymanagement.com. You can keep checking back. It should be up within the next couple days. I just working on little small tweaks,
Mhm.
little small tweaks there, and then like once that's up, all my socials will shift. Also, I'll still have my Mellow Mac the Ruler IG, but everything else I also have an M Chancey Management one. I also have an M Chancey Management Facebook, IG, Twitter. I got YouTube, all that stuff. So once the website is completed, everything will transition to that, and I'll still have my Mellow Mac one that you can reach me on personally.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Pushing, man. Pushing.
This is what we do this for, man. This was super dope. I actually enjoyed myself. I actually got an exclusive record that I'm actually I'm still gonna buy it, y'all. So y'all need to go buy it too. I'm telling y'all to go buy it. All right.
Jones coming through, man. Y'all
Don't
better
just
go ahead.
stream it. Don't just stream it. You can stream it. Don't just stream it though. Support your artists, man. Because collaboration thrives creativity. Remember to always create because you're created by the creator.